Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here from Stock Markets with Bruce, Creston, British Columbia. Welcome. It is January the 30th, the day after an unbelievable week of trading. Here in Creston, British Columbia, a couple of miles from my house, this is what it looks like. If any of you are curious, I know a lot of you have been joining me this past week covering the GameStop story. I thought I'd give you a little peek at kind of what it looks like around here, just a few miles from my house. Jennifer and I occasionally will drive out here with a Timmy's coffee and park the car and look at the scenery and enjoy. Of course, this is a nice sunny day. It's as good as it gets in January in Creston and area, but the mountains are spectacular. The lake, Kootenay Lake around here, beautiful. Of course, it can look like this. Just give it a second. We also get this kind of weather, and we occasionally will have to drive great distances here in Canada to get to where we're going, and sometimes we have to go through this kind of stuff, but don't worry about it. It's all good. Thanks again for joining me, Stock Markets with Bruce. Thank you for those of you who are subscribing to this channel, all of you who've been making PayPal donations, Super Chats. Thank you so very much. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. Let's make a lot of money. That's all I have to say about the GameStop. Hopefully real soon we can be doing this again. There I am in Santa Monica, California. I went to visit my daughter and my wife and I, and she and I went out one day, my daughter and I, and rented some of these scooters, and oh man, this is easy. Anybody can do this. Fantastic. Can't wait to do that again. Here is the story of the week. GameStop Corp. In the aftermarket, the shares closed at $313 a share. This is a chart for the past week on GameStop, a chart that will live in infamy. And there could be more fun coming beyond this. Just on Friday, the shares went from $250 up to $413 and in between. But this is the 5-day range from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, where the shares were in the $80 to $100 range up to the $150 range, and then they spiked into the $200, $300 range, even hit for a moment $507 a share. Plummeted on Thursday when people couldn't buy stock, down to $110 a share for about 2 minutes, and then popped back up about a half an hour later to $300 again, only to ease off a little bit at the end of the day Thursday to $194, and then Friday it powered back up. This here is the day of yesterday, Friday, January the 29th. Final trade of the day on the markets was $325, but in the after hours, the shares closed at $313.02. Only 1.7 million traded in the after hours. I think we have fireworks coming on Monday morning because of options expiration. Here is the day, Friday itself. Right off the pre-market, the shares dipped and kind of settled in to this range that you see here. There was a bit of a dip around 2 in the afternoon, 2:30 maybe, and then a slow, steady rise until 4 o'clock when the shares closed out at $325 a share. The low of the day, about $250. In the aftermarket, not too much happened as far as the price is concerned. What a week for GameStop. But what did we learn this week from GameStop? What did we learn about the company? What did we learn about the stock exchange? What did we figure out? Well, we found out that on Wednesday and Thursday, retail customers were not allowed to buy GameStop through a few brokerage firms. What the heck is that all about? Brokerage firms were caught with the realization that, oh my gosh, all of these hedge funds that we have been catering to and giving unbelievable leverage to, these guys could put us out of business because these guys are short all kinds of GameStop, and they owe us a ton of money. And a number of hedge funds this week raised billions of dollars to cover their losses. Losses estimated in the $15 billion range. There are brokerage firms who are now raising cash, especially these smaller new up-and-comers. We here, retail traders, some of us are winning. We're very curious what's going on. We're up against these guys here. These are the institutions that the big trading houses and whatnot. Look at the screens all these guys have. There's not 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 40. Look at this. There are all kinds of rooms like this who are up against everybody else. Now, of course, hedge funds compete against hedge funds. Investors compete against investors. And it is war. It happens right here in Manhattan, in New York. This is where the New York Stock Exchange is located. This is where GameStop shares trade. But we retailers, or you retail traders, I don't own any shares, as you know. I don't own any shares of GameStop. I'm just a commentator. You're winning. Here is a price history of the GameStop shares. I've shown this chart a few times, but I want to give you a little more time to study it today. These are the shares for the last 10 years where the price of the stock has been, and shortly you'll see the entire chart here as we slowly fan out. But the shares hit the low trade range in 2020. Just a few months ago, the shares were way down here in the $4 range, having once been up in the $60 range. And short sellers were just having a field day, just nailing these shares, selling and selling and selling in the 40s and the 30s and the 20s, and even down in the $4 mark. They wouldn't buy back their shares. This chart right here shows you the percentage of all free floating shares of GameStop that were shorted. And it used to be in the 10, 20, 40% range. Here in 2008, there was very few shares shorted. But then in 2010 and 11, reached 20%. By 2012, broke the 40%, then backed off again in 2014. Came on again between 14, 15, 16 into the 40% mark, 45% mark, 20% mark in 17, and then, look out, 2018, look what happened. 2019, over 40%, and then from 2019 on, up to 140% of all free floating shares were shorted. And you can thank GameStop for part of this, because GameStop bought back 35 million of their own shares at about $5.16 a share when all the shorters were nailing this company with short sales, trying to drive it out of business. And the company took $170 million of their own money and bought back a bunch of their own shares, and all of a sudden the short sellers are short. Mr. Elon Musk was happy to see the shares take off. He has tweeted about GameStop. GameStop, he said, the company itself, GameStop, they're busy. You go into a GameStop store, you want to buy one of these right here? Get in line, baby. Put in an order and wait. They are just not sitting on the shelf ready to go. PlayStation 5s and Xboxes are back ordered. This guy right here, we learned this week how important this man has become and will be. This is Ryan Cohen. He is now a 13% owner of the company. He has been filing SEC reports, buying stock. Look at these purchases: December 15, 16, 17, 18 at $13.80, $13.88, $14, $14.20, $14.77, $15.88, $16.02. He now owns 9 million shares of the company. Guess who sold him the stock? That's right. The short sellers were hitting the market with offers, and this guy said, give it to me. I'll take your stock off you. Up to $16 he was paying. He has put $76 million of his own money into this deal for 9 million shares. At $300+ a share, he is worth $2.7 billion. The hedge fund guys are doing this right now, going, oh my gosh, what have we done? Why did we do it? What's wrong with us? The New York Stock Exchange is monitoring everything, as are all the clearinghouses and all the SEC people. Analysts all over Wall Street are calling retail investors mobs of investors. They're calling retail investors dumb money investors. They're looking at retail investors going, how dare you buy these shares with this insider and other smart people? How dare you make 50%, 80%, 200%, 500%, 1,000% of your money? How dare you do that? Only institutions should be doing that. We need to make new rules to change everything. I say bunk. Way to go, retail investors. All of you out there who hold 1 share, 5 shares, 15 shares, 100 shares, God bless each and every one of you. I want you to get rich, rich, and rich. I will keep going live every day during the market to stay on top of this GameStop story, to keep you folks posted on the latest developments. I expect in the near future the company to begin talking. They haven't said a word to anyone yet. I expect them to start talking after midnight on Sunday night, tomorrow night. So Monday, watch out, kids. The company will be in a brand new fiscal year. Their fiscal year just ends Sunday night at midnight. The new fiscal year begins Monday morning, and I suspect GameStop will have a lot to say about what has been going on with their shares and the commentary on their company. Short sellers were caught with their pants down, shorting up to 140% of all available stock that they could possibly buy. The recipe is a disaster when you are overshorted like that, and retail investors have made them pay the price along with other hedge funds and institutions. A lot of people are making a lot of money. A few people are losing a lot of money. And I'm thrilled as can be that a number of my viewers are doing well with this investment. We will have a lot of fun next week. Thank you, everybody, for watching both of my channels, Traveling with Bruce and Stock Markets with Bruce. Thank you for subscribing to both of my channels. Thank you, all of you, making these donations to my cause. Jennifer and I love you. We thank you. We'll keep you posted. Bye for now.